Absolutely.
Order on the study page, is that the order that we're
I
sending?
think so, yeah, yeah.
Great, I think I saw there was information
Yeah.
on there, so.
And a reminder that next week we will go through the entire first half of the concert in order. We'll kind of run it as though it's the concert. We'll take a break and then we'll work on everything that we need to work on. The following week, which is our last regular Monday rehearsal, we will do the same thing with the second half. So you'll kind of have these like two little mini dress rehearsals to kind of get used to it, what it feels like to sing everything through without stopping. Okay? Any other logistics questions? Yeah.
Is there any other rehearsals prior to the concert besides our Monday times?
Yes, we have a dress rehearsal on Friday night, right? The Friday before the concert, which would be the ninth. I don't remember the exact time. It's something like 7 to 9:30 or something like that, with riser setup happening at 6 something. So, but yeah, it's in that time frame. Yeah, and that dress rehearsal is very, very important. So everybody should have it on your calendar, but if for some reason something happened and you can't be at the dress rehearsal, you must let me know that right away, if not sooner. All right, good. Let's warm up a little bit. I'm not going to do a really super long warm up because we've got a lot to do tonight. But I will ask that, even though I'm not going to kind of go over any of the vocal concepts that we've been working on, try to see if you can, as we go through the warm-up and even as we go through the rehearsal, if you can call to mind, if you can kind of think of those things that we've talked about, breath support and intonation and listening and those kinds of things. So see if you can incorporate that in your own singing as we go through. And then think of it as practice for the concert, right? How can you use any of these concepts to make the music shine, for your own individual singing? All right, let's just do a little bit of stretching, reaching up. As high as you can, and then we're going to bend over towards the piano. Just gently stretching aside and back up to the middle. And now over towards these quilt thing dingies. Banners, pennants, back up to the middle. And get a good stretch. And then just let your arms come down. And let's keep that motion going with some good shoulder rolls. Forward as big a circle as you can. As the bigger circle you can make, the more you're really kind of stretching out those muscles. And then you can go the other way. Shake it all up. And one of the things that's so important, especially as we get towards our concert, is being mindful about our posture when we're standing, but even when we're sitting. If we're sitting, we don't want to be trying to sit like this, right? But sitting up, with your feet planted on the floor. But when we're standing, which we will be in the concert, most of you, we want our feet to be comfortable width apart, weight sort of centered over both feet and hips, keeping the knees locked. That's a big thing in a concert, right? It's so easy in the moment to get locked up, and that's like, especially on risers, that's the surest way to keel over, right? And we don't want that. That's so dramatic and not fun, especially for you if you fall.
We've actually had that.
I'm sure it's happened in most choruses at least at some point. So I encourage folks throughout the rehearsal, throughout the concert even, to just maybe while I'm talking or between songs or something, just move your knees a little bit. Make sure that you're loose, that everything is aligned. And then working up, just making sure that there's a lot of space, that our shoulders are relaxed and down, and we have, a lot of space in our torso to take a nice deep breath. So let's do that now. Let's take a nice deep breath. Filling up and exhale. This time as you take that breath, I want you to pay attention to what your shoulders are doing while you're taking that breath. And they should be doing pretty much nothing, right? Just staying right put, right where they were. So breathing in, sending that breath nice and low, and exhale. Good. One more deep breath. Breathing in, filling up space at the bottom of your rib cage, and exhale. Great. Let's have C major. And we're just with ha, 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 with lots of pulse from here. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. And breath. Ha, 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 ha. Breath. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Keep it tall. One more. Good. Let's, my church choir was teasing me on the weekend because apparently, maybe you guys will go, oh yeah, you totally do this. Say, apparently I say good all the time. Do I say that? Good. Now it's gonna be like that, make me laugh all the time. All right, let's take F sharp major. Let's do. Great. So what do we need to be thinking about particularly with this exercise? There's actually two things.
Well, intervals.
Intervals, so those thirds, those descending thirds, and also it's kind of related also to that. Anytime we're descending, right? So, yeah, here we go. Let's do that same pitch again and listen a little more carefully. And sorry. And breath. Smile as we're getting lower. Breath. Just altos continuing. Can you really send it forward? Couple more. One more. We want to make sure we get down to the basement there. We've got so many places that need that. Great. Let's come back. Oh, I know. Let's. Can we have a G above middle C? And everybody just humming that on oo. Actually, not humming. Sing on oo. Just listen to the pitch. So breathe and come back in whenever you need to. Listen to the room. Tune a little bit higher. There it is. Listen to the acoustics of the room. Listen to the singers around you. Breathe singing the G. So let's start with the sopranos this time. Up. Yeah, it's higher than you think. Altos down. First altos, the third. And no, no, no. Let's go up a half step. No, no, no. Down a half step. Great. So we've gotta be listening all the time. All right, and lastly, let's just get the voice going with back to C major. High the sky. High the sky. High the sky. Breath. High the sky. 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 Make the space ahead of time. Breathe in the space. Good. Yeah. All right, have a seat. I'm wondering if we need to switch Lynn and Meg.
Because I have a bigger personality.
Yes, I guess so. See? Yeah. Now I see you're wearing tall shoes, Lynn, but I don't
I don't know what I'll be wearing.
Yeah.
No, that makes
So let's try that. I better write that down or I'll never remember.
Not much of a difference.
All right, we are going to look at 1,000 grandmothers. Run straight through. And remember, in this piece especially, in all pieces of course, but in this piece especially, text is super, super important. So really tell the story and use the text to do that. I want, your seat is, you should be, you're between Evie and Maritha. She's not, she's here, but she's in the sick ward. So it'll make more sense, Chris, when there's people back there. Yeah. I want you to get used to singing who you're singing next to. All right, here we go. Let's start that again. Can we just be a little more confident and a little bit more like, this is the beginning of the story, right? Here we go. Send in 1,000 grandmothers, they will surely volunteer with their ancient wisdom flowing. They will lend a loving ear. They will lend a loving ear. Great. So this first part, you see that the indication at the beginning is freely, which means I'm allowed to fool around with the tempo. Right? So I need you to let me have a little bit of give and take with that tempo. The other thing, when you have the repetition of they will lend a loving ear, that can be softer. So we've kind of given the main thing, and then when we repeat that, we're kind of coming down a little bit. So with that in mind, that was a much better beginning. So let's try it one more time. Really see if you can follow me. And I might play a few tricks just to see if you're paying attention.
Are we going back? Are we going back up to forte at measure 12?
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but yes. Yeah. I just want to get through the opening part here.
Send in 1,000 grandmothers, they will surely volunteer. With their ancient wisdom flowing, they will lend a loving ear. They will lend a loving ear.
Right. So I'm not going to go that wildly different, but I just wanted to see what would happen. So, but thank you for coming along. Now we're going to do this one last time. Don't get softer on the first they will lend, only on the second one.
Send in 1,000 grandmothers, they will surely volunteer. With their ancient wisdom flowing, they will lend a loving ear. They will lend a loving ear. First they'll form a loving circle.
Watch the rhythm then. Yeah, so then right when we get to strong and steady, now it's going to go in tempo almost like a march kind of thing, right? Right at first they'll form, right? We first come in there. And 3.
First they'll form a loving circle.
Yes, ace.
Round the wounded wing, then contain the brutal beasts of war. Sweet freedom songs they'll sing. Sweet freedom songs they'll sing. A lullaby much stronger than bombs or threats to kill. A force unlike we've ever seen. They will break the murderer's will. They will break the murderer's will. To the prisons we shall send them. Oh, silent men will weep when 1,000 women hold them strong and pray their souls to keep. And pray their souls to keep. Let them rob the few who steal the most, and rule with youthful charms. So they'll see the damage that they do, and will fall into grandma's arms. 2,000 loving arms. If you think these women are too soft to face the world at hand, then you've never known the power of love, and you fail to understand. When a woman holds a powerful force, when she longer needs to please, she can cut your shallow life to bits and bring you to your knees. We best get down on our knees. Let us pray for 1,000 grandmothers. Please come volunteer. No good talking out of sight. Will you bring your power here? Will you bring your power here?
Yeah. All right, let's work our way backwards a little bit. Lots of good things happening and just not new things, but just some things to kind of remind ourselves about. So working from where we just stopped, make sure you have written in a sforzando on that very last note, which means we do here, right? Tack it and come right back and then grow. on the word power?
Yeah, I think
No,
that's a mistake.
just on the very last note.
Okay, sorry, mistake.
Yep. What maybe you had written in is we do want a lot of P on that. Otherwise, we have an hour. And there's a retard there. It's a little bit small to see, but you might want to circle it. Or what I do in my own music, you don't have to do this, but if I have like a retard over some number of space, I draw a squiggly line so that I see visually, you know, where that retard is happening. Just something I learned in school, I guess. Yeah, so continuing to work our way backwards. Alto ones, it's all you, right at the top of that last page into the bottom. So just be very confident there, which you were doing, but I think I will never tell you you're too much. Okay. Good. And then at the circling the fortissimo, the very last note of 7. And you really, I don't know if that's a page turn for you or not.
Yeah.
You've got to get your page turn faster because we got to make sure we're right on that rhythm right at the top of the next page, right? 1, 2, 3, and pray for 1,000, right? You've got to make sure you're ready for that. Working our way back a little bit more. On the bottom, the first measure, bottom of 7, measure 65, and also the measure before, we are making cut and bits very short and kind of just doing some text painting that. She can cut your, as opposed to cut your, and same thing, life, 2 bits. Right, so you can just make a little bit more of that. All right, let's just kind of do all of that, incorporate all of that. From the bottom of 6, pick up to the last measure, an old woman holds up power. 2, 3. Sorry, here's your pitches again. 1, 2, 3. I think that's not quite forte. So if you have more sound, let's.
Well, the beginning of that verse is, and it doesn't say.
It's forte starting at the bottom of 5. So I think that whole verse is forte. Because then we're going to go up one more notch to fortissimo, but it still should be very strong. Okay? Same place, an old woman. 1, 2, 3.
An old woman holds a powerful force, which she no longer needs to please. She can cut your shallow life to bits and bring you to your knees. We must get down on our knees.
And now even more.
And pray for 1,000 grandmothers. Will you please
Yeah. So if you're singing that's the one exception. You can come down a little bit there. I want to make sure we hear the first altos there. So, but it was a lovely while it lasted. But I don't want the first altos to feel like they're shouting over that. Let's take it right at and pray, the last note of 7. 1, 2, 3.
pray for 1,000 grandmothers. Will you please no longer deep out of sight. Will you bring your power here? Will you bring your power here?
Yeah. Here. Not here. All right, just watch. No R on the end of that, and here, more towards up. All right, yeah, that was better. Let's work our way through that key change. So I know sopranos are out for a little bit, and then you have to come in right in the key change there, which is not super easy. Let's just take it from, actually, let's go all the way back to the last two notes of 4, where the altos have. Let them rock. 1, 2, 3.
Let them rock the few who steal the most, and rule with youthful charms. So they'll see the damage that they do, and will fall into Grandma's arms. 2,000 loving arms. If you think these women are
Yeah,
too
so
soft.
sometimes it's in the piano, so you really just have to hone right in. It's fast, but it is there if you're just ready for it. Just what's that? Well, you just hear it moving into the new key. I can't tell you your exact note where it is in the piano, but Allison, will you just play that so they can hear that transition to the new key? Maybe from 8, 9, 50. So you see how you hear that a little bit right before? Let's do that just again from, so they'll see the damage, altos, pick up to the last measure, top of 5. 1 and 2.
So they'll see the damage that they do, and will fall into Grandma's arms. 2,000 loving arms. If you think these women are too soft to face the world at hand, then you've never known the power of love, and you fail to understand. An old woman holds a powerful force when she no longer needs to please. She can cut your shallow life to bits and bring you to your knees. We best get down on our knees and pray for them.
And so forth. Yes, yeah. Much better, much better. Now I really hear much more of the text than, a couple weeks ago. So good. Very good. You do it like constantly.
A little repetitive, annoying things people do. That's not at all.
At least I don't, at least it's telling you something good. And not
Yeah.
shouting at you.
Good things
Well,
come in threes.
Yeah, my wife teased me about it because I tease her because she always says everything 3 times. Like, hurry. You have to go. And so she said, you do it too. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think she did. All right, we are going to switch gears to Mother, which we worked on last week. We got a lot done. I just want to kind of see how much of that stuck from last week and just do any other little fixings that we can do. The thing that I'm probably the most nervous about in this piece is the beginning and the end. And I suspect you are too. So just before we're going to just kind of drill this a little bit, but make sure that you have the change in dynamic that when Limbo was with us, she gave us a change for sopranos and alto. Well, this is a high, middle, low. I forgot. But your initial entrance for each part is mezzo piano, not piano. So you don't have to be quite so, right? The last one is piano. So the first mother that you have is mezzo piano, and the second one is piano, which is a little easier because it's not as high, right? And there is a fermata on the last note there before we move on. So, and then we have kind of similar. Let's flip to the very, very end of the piece. Well, actually, it's not really. It's similar for you, but it's not really similar. But you have the same kind of idea that you have this kind of pitch that you have to kind of pull just kind of from the air almost. So we're gonna just kind of drill both of those places. Since we just looked to the end, let's do the end first. So let's go, Allison, right from 75. Low part. Who's singing low? Yeah, so you should now all be nicely together. So that hopefully will help. Let's just hear from 78 in the piano. 78, and then I want you to just sing loudly your D on Mother, right? Just loudly, not piano. All right, here we go. This is 78. 1, 2. Quite a lot of that D in the piano, but it's like 4 octaves above where you're singing it, so it takes a little bit to hear that. All right, let's do also with the sopranos singing forte on ooh your hums that you have there. So we're going to do the same thing that we did, and I know we haven't gotten to the middles yet. We will get there in just a second. I just want to make sure that we have these 2 notes that come in. So here we go at 78. Oh, sorry, 75. My eyes. Yeah. And. Is that forte? Forte, forte, forte. I really want to hear that note. I want to make sure we're not just kind of going. Right? On ooh, forte. Measure 75. Sorry, Allison. Practice before the note. That's okay as long as it's not audible. As long as it's just in your head or very, very softly. All right, so now that we kind of can do it forte and can really hear where those notes are, let's do it not forte. Do it as the dynamic that is written, maybe a little bit, tiny bit louder than piano and pianissimo, maybe mezzo piano and piano for the.
You still want us on ooh?
No, go back to we were doing yeah. All right, here we go. From those 2, find that last chord. So let's hear the low part sing your mother, and then I want to hear the middles come in on your B flat. And you do hear the B flat. Listen to the piano part, the measure B4 in the right hand. No, measure 80. So it's there, but it's dissonant. It's got a dissonant note with it. All right. So let's hear the low part on your mother. 1, 2. Now see if you can find the B flat from that. Great, great. Now soprano or high part, I should say, you're on a G before. The last thing you sang was a G, so sing your G. Then go up a fourth, just like we did in the warm-up, right? So yeah. Here comes. Now I have the wrong note stuck in my head. So you're coming from G to C. Alright? So what I suggest you do is you have the G in your head, don't listen to what they're saying. Just try to hear that C, that interval, that here comes the bride interval while they're doing that. Let's see if we can go just from everybody singing forte or mezzo forte from 7 to 8. So soprano sing on your G we'll go back to oo for right now, okay? And and then we'll see if we can put that together. 1, 2. There it is. And maybe too we'll get used to what that second sounds like and it won't sound like so impossible. Let's go back to measure 75 and see if we can do it as written now, that we kind of have those tricks in our head. We'll get it in a minute. All right, I want to go back to the beginning now.
Quick question on that. Are you doing your part? I have one.
Yeah, I will, but
Okay.
I was just trying to get the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of one, not a huge one. She already made it quite a bit slower than we had been doing it, so I don't want to get so slow. All right, let's go back to almost the beginning. We don't need to go all the way to the beginning, but Allison, why don't you do pick up to 6? Okay, so this is pick up to 6 for you. And then you're going to be listening to, and for right now, again, like we did with the end, don't worry about the dynamic. Come in, just sing everything mezzo forte, just so we just make sure we have the notes. Here we go. Watch her low part, watch her count. The middle part comes in 1, 2, mother, 1, mother. Don't come in too soon. Let's do just from measure 8 this time. So let's take from the C sharp, and Allison's going to help you this time. C sharp for the highs. Middles. Lows. So for middles, just come down a whole step from what you just heard the sopranos do. That's the best way to find that. Actually, it's the same thing for the first one too. But yeah. All right, let's do that one more time from measure 8. Still sing it mezzo forte when you get to it. So Now, see if we can go back to the dynamic that's written there. With good support, this is one of those things, especially for the high part, these notes are right up there in that range. It's very hard to get, and the only way to get that and keep it spinning in tune is to get that good breath, to give yourself all the things that we've been talking about all semester, is to open up that space, use the vowel, all that stuff. Measure 8 one more time. Good. I'd almost rather do it at a slightly louder dynamic and feel confident and feel like we can do it. We'll work with it next time we sing it. We'll work with it to see if we can maybe get there dynamically. But I'd be happy with that confidence of pitch. The last thing I want to do before we leave this is I want to look at that section from measure 55. This is where some folks in the middle part are going down, and I think there's a couple folks who are not, hopefully, because we need more. We need to make sure we have enough people in the middle. So if you can do most of that middle line, except for maybe one high note here and there, go ahead and sing it. If most of it lies too high for you, then, you know. Yeah. All right. So let's go right and pick up to 55. 1, 2, 3. It tends to kind of overtake a lot of stuff, but yeah. Well, so let's go back to the same spot, and let me hear just lows and middles.
What spot?
Pick up to 55, page 11. 1, 2, and. At all. Middles, I would just like to hear a little bit more, and I just don't know if that's because enough of you are dropping out on the higher notes that we just lose that sound a little bit. I can't remember if I have Angela. I think I have Angela as a high, but I might have her do this with you all. But can I hear you middles from... we might as well go all the way back to 55. Remember that at the beginning, so these two places where you have mother in 56 and then again in 60, That's like an echo of the high part there. So that should come out just a little bit more. Here we go, middles, and 1. Yeah. Do you see where we started? We had some extra mothers in there. It's always a good thing to have extra mothers, but not in this piece. Measure 55. And I'm just doing the middles. Just the middles. And 1. Yeah, so a lot of that is very melodic, and we really want to hear that. So if you have a little bit more sound to give, I will take it. All right, we'll go back to pick up to 55 once again. Page 11. Let's put everybody back in. But this is one of those sections where because it's tricky, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I think we get a little bit of blinders on, and we just I'm just gonna sing my part, and I'm just gonna keep going, right? But we need to listen a little bit more to the other parts. This is one of those places where listening to the voices around us will serve us well. Here we go. 2, 3. Because it was much more balanced. It didn't feel like, capture the flag or something between the voices. All right, very good. We're going to leave that and go to It Takes a Village. And congratulations to Rafaela, Janice, Caitlin, and Anne, who will be our soloists. Yeah. So I think we're going to try it this way. Let's have Rafaela do the first line, then Janice at measure 9, then Caitlin at measure 13, and then Anne at 17. Did it that way so that the altos who are singing it, the octave down won't be quite so in the basement. All right, so we're going to try that. But before we do that, I just want to remind us, let's just kind of remind ourselves about this little body percussion that we're going to be doing at the beginning. So you're just going to gently take your hand and just here, sort of, in a place where you have a little bit of space or whatever, and just being. Right? Not doing it super hard because you don't want to get a bruise. Just gently. Huh? It's a heartbeat. It's absolutely a heartbeat. So what will happen is I will give you a full measure of 3, so it'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bum, bum, 2, 3, bum, bum, 2, 3, bum, bum, 2, 3, bum, bum, 2, 3, bum, bum. It takes up, right? So you get those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 measures of rhythm, and then the solo comes in. Yeah.
Are we aligning which side we're doing it on? Or
I don't think it matters.
not care?
Yeah, it's not choreography, it's just sound. It probably depends on which, because you're going to have your folder in one hand, so, whichever hand is easier for you to carry, hold your folder. So, let's have the pitch that Raphael is going to begin on, and we'll see if we can successfully do the body percussion until Raphael comes in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Yeah, it's a little scary, isn't it? Yeah, that's why we're going to practice it. So, same thing again. And just to say, you're going to do that, that same beat all the way until the last of the 4 soloists, Anne, has finished her, when she gets to, we'll share the joy. That's the last one, when she says joy. Okay? Because see, then the drum is going to take over, which we'll also do in just a minute. Lot to put together. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3.
It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all everyone will share the burden.
Yeah. All right, so let's just now that you got the percussion going, let's just go. We'll just go with the 4 soloists because it's the first time they're doing this in this exact way. So we're just going to go through with the 4 of you and just do that. And this time, Allison's going to give you a hand. And 1.
It takes a whole village to raise our children.
And Janice.
It takes a whole village to raise one child.
And Caitlin. And Anne. So, the 4 of you, you need to pretend like you're singing the whole thing, even when you're not singing. Because the minute, so for example, when Caitlin finished, we must share the burden, we all, you have to be right ready to come in. We can't take any extra time. So, but very good. Let's do it one more time so you get a little bit more used to it. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1.
It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all everyone will share the joy.
There we go. Yeah, very good. That's the right idea. So it's really one solo that we're just splitting up with 4 different voices, right? So now we're going to go back and we're going to go one more time from the beginning with the body percussion and see if we can put all of that together. And Allison's going to give just a little bit of help just to make sure we don't go astray. Oh, sorry. Before we begin, Mara has a question.
Wondering, I know it's unaccompanied, but it seems that all the time the rhythm on "We'll Share the Joy" is not on the beat, and it's on the
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are off the beat, and when the soloists are going, we're gonna just, soloists try to stick to the beat, but if we get off the beat, choir, you are following me with your rhythm and not following that, because otherwise it gets off. So that if we keep to our heartbeat, then if one of the solos, the rhythm changes just a little bit, then they can get back on if we keep a steady beat. Okay? Make sense?
Are you gonna kind of look at us when it's our turn?
I did. I think I looked at all 4 of you, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so here we go. Again, I'm giving you 1 full measure of intro. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 2, 3.
It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one
So you're always going on and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, right? And I was keeping it with you when we were just doing it by ourselves, but when the solos are singing, I kind of need to pay attention to what they're doing and not, so we're just keeping that. One more time.
And again, the third measure, the second beat is on the beat. It's not an upbeat. The two
Two rays, is that what you're talking about?
two rays, and must share, will share.
1, 2 rays are children. Yeah, 2 rays is on the beat.
But two rays, yeah.
Yeah.
Must share.
And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3.
It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child.
Nope, that's where you stop on joy. You stop on joy, right? It's getting there. It's a little bit better. But let's go ahead. We'll work on that a little bit more. But I want to get Maritha up with her drum, and I think she's got a goodie for Allison. You guys want to take a quick little second to kind of just put it together? All right. Yeah. Quick time you to do that. In the meantime, while they're doing that, I'll come over here. Let's jump while they're kind of putting together what they're doing. Jump all the way to 81. but we need to start to put the percussion in, so I'm gonna hope that that will maybe help a little bit. So Maritha, why don't we hear what happens at 21? Which is where you first come in.
Right, and I think I'm just gonna come in as written there, so there's no
Okay.
slam, like it's kind of.
But then, we don't sing anything for 4 bars, or well, we're just holding the note and not singing. So you can, do you need a stand? Just take, there's a whole bunch. By the way, I want to thank Marisa for volunteering. Even though she's sick. So we have, we'll share the joy of peace. Then it comes in right there. I just want them to get used to what it sounds like.
Okay, I might just play the basic there. I haven't got, I've actually just found a video where the drummer's hardly playing, so I'm trying to use that so I'm not
Okay.
combating with another
Yeah.
drummer.
Well, let's just see, and then we can adjust as we need.
And Allison comes in after, right at home.
Yeah. The way it looks, at least in the music, and maybe you guys can make a different decision, but it looks like the conga comes in at the pickup to 21 and the shakerei comes in right on 21. Is that what you guys talked about doing? Yeah, in the 5 seconds you had to talk about it. So I'm just gonna speak we'll share the joy just so we can get that in. We have 1, we'll share the joy. Alright. We do want try that again? Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna speak the same thing. And 1, we'll share the joy. 3, and it takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child, and what we all, everyone, share the burden. Math problems?
Yes, I want to share. All my glasses fogged up and
Oh, it sounded pretty good there for a minute. Yeah. Alright, let's try that one more time. And let's just give Allison, you're playing the shakerei, so obviously you can't play the pitch, but can you just give them the C right now that they come in at 25? So that's your note you're gonna come in. So we can just lightly sing because I want to mainly just hear what the percussion is doing. So here we go. We'll share the joy. 3, 4. It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all, everyone, will share the burden. We all, everyone, will share the Alright? You start to get the feel of it? Alright? You ready to actually sing it for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. So let's get a new C, because I probably came in on the wrong note. Alright. And why don't you sing your bit at 17 and lead us into that? We all and 1. We all, everyone, will share the And then that percussion goes kind of crazy there. Yeah. So when they sing "We'll Share the Joy," then you can really go to town there because there's nothing for us there. Yeah. But I do want to do. Let's take it from a 25. Are you finding it a little easier to keep the tempo when you hear the drum? Yeah. But it's all the more important to know when you're on the beat and when you're off the beat because then we get off of the drum. All right, so this is going to be measure 25 and 1. It takes a village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all come back in all together. Yeah. So at 77, which was where we just arrived, then for soloists, you have to be ready to jump and you're going to sing all together in octaves that, and also the drum cuts out right there. That's the spot. The direction in the music was a little confusing because in one place it says 100, but all the other places it says 77. So I think
It's scored for two different drums. So we decide, like, this is one drum, so we come out at 77.
I think I want all percussion out at 77.
Okay.
And then you stay out until 97. I read through those directions and I was like, what happened? There's nothing at 100 that would make sense to that. So,
It says goes through measure 1.
but I think that just means because the little conga doesn't play all of that. It just means like that it's the same rhythm when the conga is playing in that.
But you're saying cut out at 77. I mean, at 97 it says percussion out after down at 97.
Yeah.
And then in at the end of.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
But
Yeah,
we can figure that out.
I see, yeah. I think it's going to be too much with the percussion and the solos. Well, let's try it. Actually, no, we don't have time to try it. We need to take our break, but you and I will talk and we'll figure that out. We won't be doing this next week. We'll be doing it the week after, so we have like a little week to try to figure out what this is. The directions in here don't totally make sense to me. So
And some of the videos, the person just plays all the way through until
But at 100, the percussion should come in and kind of go crazy to the
Right.
end, so that doesn't make sense where they stop. That's what confused me. All right. Anyway, you guys are probably like, ho hum. But we're gonna stop for now. I think that you start to get the idea a little bit, hopefully, from what we did. For soloists, next time we do it, we'll put all of this together and make sure that you feel confident when you come back in at measure 77. But for right now, we need to stop and take our break. I imagine we have some announcements.